Darn it, I started this live stream and it's the wrong orientation and it's not gonna rotate. So, all right, we're just gonna do it like this then, I guess. We'll do it like straight up and down. So sorry about that, everybody. Sometimes with doing it with the phone here, it does that. It'll lock it this way, and then you go to rotate it like that. And even if you have your orientation unlocked on your phone, it stays like that. So I apologize. So it's going to be like this throughout the live stream. So we're just getting ready to feed Sierra some milk here this morning. What's up, sweet girl? Let's get you some milk. She had a rough night last night. So, hey, what's up, Diane? Thanks for tuning in from Atlanta. Sierra had a little bit of a rough night last night, so I gave her one more pain pill than usual, and that seemed to have helped. So she, you go ahead and eat those treats, Pumpkin. That's for you. Hey, what's up, Hector? Thanks for tuning in for Texas, man. So sorry, everybody. Like I said, the orientation for the screen is like this. If I turn it like this, hey, what's up, Chandra? Thanks for tuning in for Colorado. If I turn it to the side, then what happens is it looks like this. The orientation's locked, and so it's just kind of frustrating. So, hey, what's up, Chris? How's it going, man? All right, so everybody. So the change that we're going to be doing is I'm going to start homesteading. I've decided that with all the news about, food supply and people possibly jacking with food and all that stuff, if anything the last 2 years has taught me is to not trust, what has taken place. You want to go outside, girl? Let's go outside. Come on. Here, hang on a second. Let me get her out. I think she wants to go out and go potty. So there you go, girl. All right, let's go here. Whoops, sorry, Pumpkin. There you go, sweetie. All right, let's turn this around. It's real windy out today, guys, and it's been really, it's actually kind of cold right now. So sorry about the wind noise, but it's actually cold at the moment, and it just seems like winter has not stopped around here. It's just been nonstop. Hi, what's up, girl? What are you doing? Oh, see here, Pumpkin. You want to go walk this? I can't walk too far away from the router, sweetie. But anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start homesteading, and I'm gonna start just produce. Then I'll graduate to like chickens, and then I'll do meat, birds, and all that stuff. What's up, girl? We can't walk that far. You go ahead and just go walk right over there and go to the bathroom where you normally go. Okay? I gotta do this live stream, and so initially it's gonna start out with, like I said, with just produce, like doing like lettuce and peppers and tomatoes and stuff like that, and kind of get my growing legs back underneath me. And then once I get good with that, then I'll move into animals and things of that nature, because I've got like really good soil on the property here. Let me show you. Underneath the trees over here, there's been like bio debris. Oh, hey, what's up, Arkansas Traveler? How you doing, man? Bingus, what's going on? All right, soil that's underneath here, and this is underneath all the trees, is extremely good soil. This has just been biomatter over the eons that has fallen down from these trees and rotted on the ground, and kind of just composted itself. So this is really good soil. Yeah, Chris, I do have sandy soil. That's hey, what's up, outsider? I do have sandy soil. It's down in the meadow, and that's kind of more where like the wash is, where all the moisture comes to the property. And so you get a lot of sandy soil down there, a lot of that loose clay that turns into like that really slurry soil, that you get in like Utah, Nevada, and of course here in Arizona. But this upper part of the property here, this is actually almost kind of graveled, because over the eons, this is like the high point in the property. Hey, what's up, Greg? Thanks for tuning in from Alberta. So Hypno, yeah, I'm excited too, man. So I'm back at homestead right now. Oh, cool. That's great. Yeah, I used to do that when I lived in Denver. I used to grow a bunch of food, and it was awesome. What's up, girl? What you doing over there? Sierra's in a pretty good mood today. But anyway, so up here, it's been nice because like the way my property works is right here is a big ridge, and then it goes down on that side, and then it goes down over there as well. So over the eons, with all the rain that's hit this area, what has happened is like all this soil, I drive on it all the time, and during monsoon season, it's always like really, yeah, Hypno, definitely, I'll definitely be doing that. Thanks for the advice. I can walk on this during monsoon season, and it's not wet. It's not like that real muddy stuff. So it's kind of nice because I can operate up here. So I thought, well, why don't I just make something up here that I can, work with? And I have all this room right behind my camper here. So let me show you this. So I'm sorry for the orientation, everybody. I started the live stream in this orientation, not on the horizontal one. And if I flip it like this, it just goes to like a sideways photo. So it's locked at the moment. But anyway, so I've got all this great soil, it's right through here and all through here. And this is actually underneath all the trees in my property. And then in between here, hey, what's up, Corey? Oh, cool. Yeah, I gotta go pick up the coffee. So thanks for the reminder on that. So, 64 max power. What's going on? So I've got all this area right here that's flat, and it's in between this, my camper, which is just right back here, and then the little ATV cowboy shed, you know, thing that I've got right there. And I've got all this area in here, so I can just easily clear this out. I've got full sun throughout the day that comes through here, so we're all good. And I can have a big area here with just some raised beds and start out with this as far as my food production, and then eventually put some chickens down over here and start working with all that stuff. And so I'm really excited because, I've had fun truck camping over the years. It's been great, but I'm getting older. I'll be 48 in like 2 weeks on the 25th. And I've always wanted to homestead. I think it's kind of cool. I think it's fun to grow food, and I loved doing it when I lived in Denver. And I think it's going to be the same out here. So that's what I want to do going forward. And hey, what's up, Joe? How you doing? Minnesota, you got 80 degrees out there. Wow. Yeah, we don't have 80 here. Today is only going to top out at maybe 60, but right now it's about 40. So it's pretty chilly. But let's see here. What was I saying? Oh yeah, but back to doing the food. So what I'm going to do initially, milk isn't very good. Oh no, that's not true. Goat's milk is really good for dogs. Look it up. It's got prebiotics and probiotics in it, so it's all good. And Hypno, yeah, I said meat birds. So you can get chickens that like lay the eggs, but then also the other chickens that just get real fat, and those are the meat birds. My buddy has those, and man, they taste phenomenal. They're so good. It's like as soon as you harvest a meat bird and you eat it, it's almost like the bird is like, it tastes like it's naturally buttered. If that makes sense, but it's not, there's no butter on it, but it just tastes like it. It's just really good. And then you can can that meat, and it just lasts forever, and it tastes great. So, and on top of it too, I don't know if y'all saw, but China yesterday with their wonderful, oh, hey, what's up, Bob from Broomfield, and see Jake, I got me property. Nice, man, 20 acres. Oh, Jake, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. So, Sandra, yeah, I'm excited. The possibilities are endless out here. 79 and northern Wisconsin. Oh, that's actually kind of nice weather up there. But I don't know if you saw yesterday with China, but they said that they were able to put mRNA technology into milk, and hang on, thing's all cloudy, and they said that they were able to feed it to the mice, and the mice took that up in their bodies, so you can actually get mRNA vaccines now through food, possibly. I just don't trust that. Not that I'm like a huge conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but the past couple of years have been really uncertain. And on top of it too, I do like to be self-sufficient. I don't want to have to drive, an hour and a half to get groceries. I think that's kind of wasteful. I understand for like the big staple items, but for stuff that I could grow out here, I might as well just grow it. It's fun to do. It gives me something to do. What's up, little girl? It gives me something to do out here. You want me to grow some food out here for you, sweetie? And then also too, it's kind of nice because you know where your food comes from. And I always enjoyed like making a salad out of the produce that I grew when I lived in downtown Denver. And I don't know why, I just did. So, when I bought this property a couple years ago, I thought eventually one day I'll stop living, in the 4x4 truck here, and I'll get out here and kind of put down some roots. And it's just been feeling like that more and more lately, that I want to kind of just hang out here a little bit more. And I really enjoyed our time truck camping down at the wilderness areas just south of here. Incredible places to visit, so that'll be a nice little reprieve for me when I want to, leave the place. But if I don't have animals right out of the gate, I'll still be able to go truck camp and then just kind of slowly transition into doing it full time. So eventually, I would like to have it to where I get all my groceries from my place, but that's going to take a lot of effort, and I don't know if I'm ready for the animal commitment quite yet. So yeah, CC Cat, I love to garden, and there's something therapeutic about it too. Like, when I was a gardener for the town of Crested Butte back in 2018 for that summer, I loved it. You just out all day working with plants, like it's pretty mellow. I was listening to podcasts all day long, and people would come by and be like, "Oh, we love how the flowers look around here." I'm like, "Yeah, thanks." Like, it was like high fives all around. And I don't know, something about working with plants I think is really relaxing. So that's what we're going to do here going forward. I think I'll probably stick around here. So, hi guys next door to the smokers. Oh, hey, what's up, Ron? How you doing? But I think this summer we're going to stick around here. I mean, a lot depends on how that little one does. you know, if keeps on having, you know, more and more complications, we're not looking at very much time left together, which is unfortunate. You know, just kind of breaks my heart to think about. But I also, you know, like I said, I also the vibe has also changed on the road too. I don't know, ever since COVID, it just got kind of weird. You know, you like during the lockdowns, it was really weird because some towns were cool and you could go in and get groceries, and other towns you couldn't even get into. Like the town of Silverton, the sheriff was parked outside of it, not letting anybody in town, and that was crazy. And also, a lot of places have blown up since you know, COVID, because once COVID hit and then the government offered assistance to a lot of people, which they should have. You know, I'm glad they did because a lot of people were hurting. But some people took that as an opportunity just to go live in the backcountry full time. And when they did that, a lot of people wouldn't move spots. You know, they'd stay in one spot for like 3 or 4 months until Forest Service came and cleaned them all out. And I've never agreed with that. Like I always think, like, if you're going to be out there, like, move every couple days, you know, and don't impact sites and stuff like that. So some places got really blown up, and that's why I've always been a fan of like driving 4x4 trails and just endlessly driving throughout the day to see what you can find, because that's how I find all the places where I go. You know, I'm able to have the freedom with my schedule to go out there and just literally drive endless Forest Service roads and find cool stuff. So I still know a few places that are not blown up, but you know, also too, with the channel being big like that, sometimes I do get folks rolling into camp, and which is cool. I mean, that's part of what I signed up for doing this. But out here, it's nice just to know that I've got 100% privacy, you know, and no one comes around here. I mean, no one. And so let's see, CC Cat. Sorry about Sierra. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's just rough when our furry family members go through this stuff. It's just, you know, we watch them age rapidly in real time, because we're like genetically we're such more of a stronger species, and the animals, you know, they just can't stand up to stuff like we are. That's why they have such a shorter lifespan. But you know, they give us so much love. It's like, you know, I'm disappointed that Sierra's life is being cut short, but I mean, I can't be mad that I had one of the world's best dogs, you know, and she's still with me, so it's not like our story's over. But you know, it is rough for sure. But you know, I also think too that when Sierra's not here, the like homesteading and stuff like that will help me get my mind off it, because I know it's going to be an adjustment for me. Because I only know the road with her. You know, we've been out here like pounding it since 2015, like really getting after it. I'm gonna get some coffee real quick, and I'm kind of tired with that. You know, like it definitely wears on you a little bit. And let's see, why did I get backdraft there on my stove? So I got my stove going right now. Well, it's not really going. I've just got some embers in there, kind of still. But I still scrub my cat, but have no children. So yeah, I'm the same way. I don't have any kids either, and so this is, you know, Sierra definitely feels like, you know, like my daughter or something like that. And I've treated her as such. Like when I adopted her, I thought, I'm not going to adopt her and make her sit in my truck all day while I go do fun stuff, or like go to the bars at night or whatever. Like I literally haven't had a nightlife since I adopted her, because I don't. Like I'm like, well, it's time to go to camp and, you know, go to bed or go on an evening walk or whatever. And so I always spent every day with her, and I think that's why we have such a great bond, you know. And on top of it too, she's a red heeler, which are known for being extremely loyal and compassionate, you know, to their owners. But yeah, you know, when she's gone, it's going to be a big adjustment for me. And so I'll fill that time with like keeping busy around here. Oh, and I want to show you too. So I've been cutting down either some sickly trees or trees that I think that, you know, that are kind of like in the way for a view, and I want to use them for construction materials. And so let's go over here. I'll show you what I've been doing. Oh, the healer's there. Yeah, they're such a great breed. You know, they literally just want to make you happy every day, and whatever you want to do, they're cool with. So, but here's an example of some of the trees that I've knocked down. I've knocked down a bunch. Like you can kind of see down over here, there were some pinyon pines that were kind of jacked up, and so pinyon pines can get pine beetle in them, you know, and then it just worms through the pine tree, and then it kills the tree, and then it goes to the next one. So one of them looked like they kind of had that, and so I decided to cut that down. But here's an example of some of the juniper I'm getting. So these are pretty large juniper trunks, and juniper is extremely tough, and they're rot resistant. And so what I'm thinking is all the stuff that I want to do around here with making like fences and also putting an awning up over the camper right there. You know, have it to where on both sides I'll have like large poles that go up from these trees, and then just build like an angled roof that I can hang a gutter off the back, and then harvest some water, you know, because we can collect rainwater out here in Arizona. You can collect as much as you want. So do that. So I've cut down those trees, and I've got some, let's go inside here, it's a little windy. I've got some pinyon over there, or some, yeah, some pinyon over there with those logs that are like 60 feet long, which is really cool. Oh, thanks, something, Greg. Yeah, I like this camper. It's a cool one here. Let me show you. Let me turn it around. I'll kind of give you a little tour. So there's my stove. That's a Kaneko Trekker stove. Really like this one for the camper here. I just have it ported out a window, and it's so ghetto. I've got this duct taped on here. I need to make a official window replacement, like a whole sheet next year with the stove jack in it, and then I can just take the window out and put it there. That's where I'm going to put my air conditioner, the window unit, in the summertime. Here are some of the ranch relics that I've found around the property. Lots of stuff from the cowboy era, and oh, it's something great. It's cool. Yeah. Yeah. Sierra's literally the star of my show. Like, I'm just here to make sure she's comfortable and has enough treats, but she's the one that makes it happen. I definitely realize that. So, Air Creed here. I'm at my place in Northern Arizona. So, currently 12th there. Oh, wow. Cowgirl hippie chick. Let's see. Whoops. Let's see. Let me. Both are loyal from puppyhood. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I just love healers, and so I'll probably get like another working breed, I would imagine, you know, when Sierra's not here. But let's see here. So going back to my property here. So this is the little kitchen area, and I want to move this. This is kind of big, and I can actually make a seat here, like a big love seat, which is what this originally was, and then have it to where I look out, you know, through my windows here. If the truck wasn't in the way, you could see a big mountain that's kind of in the background over there. And it's real nice views for the evening time because that's where the sunset is. Got a power set up there, but I actually am using the EcoFlow and the Zinder power stations right now, which I'll be doing a 1-year review on the EcoFlow here next month. I think the second week of next month. And then, you know, have the Dometic down there and all that stuff. Whoops. Let's see here, either in Concho or Ash Fork areas. You know, Ash Fork's pretty good because you can actually head up to Williams from Ash Fork. You can like Ash Fork, you just go up the hill and then you're in Williams, and it's like a completely different ecosystem. Ash Fork's a little more high desert. Williams is straight up alpine, huge ponderosa pines. They've got a nice grocery store there with a huge organic section. They've got hardware stores, you know, car part stores, all that stuff. And then you can go even further down the road and go to Parks, and Parks has great camping. So if I were to do the two, I'd probably go near Ash Fork. The only thing about Ash Fork is I don't think they have a community well in town. So see wherever you're buying at, see if they have a community well that you can go and get water from. Because otherwise, if you drill a well, you know, they could be 700, 800 feet deep out here because the water is real deep, the aquifers. And the problem with that is that costs about 40 to 50 grand to put in, you know, with like the power system and the pump and everything like that. Just to drill it itself is like 35 to 40. So just a heads up. Like, I have a community well 1 mile down the road. So I just drive over there. I've got, you know, this little truck right here. It's actually kind of full of stuff right now because I'm reorganizing some things. But underneath here is a big water tote. And so I just take that over there, you know, fill it up and come back here. And it's like, I mean, 30-minute trip, you know. And that's why I haven't drilled a well here. And plus, too, I mean, I don't have the money to pay that cash for that at the moment. But that's something to consider for Ash Fork. Another thing, too, yeah, rain catchment out there is real good because I have, let's see, Z, landing in Denver and road trip into Phoenix. Oh, yeah, hey, Z, I'll get back to that in just a second, right before I get done responding to about the rain catchment. Yeah, my neighbor down the road, he gets 12,000 gallons in the first month and a half of water stored in his big old containers. So he has 3 outbuildings, and they're not that big, and he just has a gutter off each one, and then, you know, you're good to go from there. So, okay, so you're heading to Phoenix from Denver. Depends on which way you go. If you go through the Four Corners area, you know, there's you go through the reservation, and there's not much on the reservation, but Flagstaff is really cool. And there's a historic district in downtown Flagstaff that's neat to check out. It's pretty busy there these days. The college is growing like crazy, and also too, a lot of people are moving there. But that's a neat town, and you know, it's nice to. There's lots of stuff outside of town to see. There's Walnut Canyon right there, which has some pretty cool Native American stuff, which is just right outside of town. And so you can go on a little hike through that, which is cool. Prescott's a neat town. That's a really neat town. It's a real historic town. They have an area called Whiskey Row, and they actually had to rebuild it in the early 1900s because it burned down. But they rebuilt it to the same specifications, so it looks the same as it did way back in the day when it first got going in the 1800s. And that's an old mining town. And it's really pretty down there. Prescott's cool. Prescott Valley, not so much. It's just like the overgrowth area, but downtown Prescott's awesome. Mexican Hassett, yeah, that's a cool area. Bears Ears is in. If you want to stop off and camp, Bears Ears is over by Bluff, Utah, and that's amazing down there. Go to Valley of the Gods and Valley of the Gods Road. It's about 20 minutes west of Bluff on the it was a Highway 160 that goes over there, and great camping throughout there, and it's incredible. Oh, hey, Chris. It's just that I'm going to start homesteading. Spend a lot more time around my place. I read a report last night about how some of our food could possibly get infused with the mRNA vaccine technology for future stuff because the Chinese yesterday figured out how to put it in milk, and they were able to get rats to uptake it after 3 doses. So I don't know. I just, with all the weird stuff that's gone on, the past couple of years, I just want to be more self-sufficient, yeah, Monument Valley is great, and Kayenta is cool too. Kayenta has amazing history. If you want to read some cool history about that area, House of Rain is really good, and yeah, Legacy Seeds, that's definitely what I'll be getting. Yeah, something great. I don't know if like China released the report yesterday. It hasn't really come out on. I did a Google search this morning. There's a few news organizations that are picking it up. But essentially, what it is they figured out how to, like, how vitamin D gets infused into milk. The Chinese scientists figured out how to do that with the mRNA technology. So it's not specifically for the COVID vaccine. They said that China said, well, it's for new stuff that comes out, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't really want to have that happen to me. If I take something, I want to know that I'm taking it. You know what I mean? And it's not that I think that everything that comes out is designed to depopulate the world or whatever the conspiracy theories are these days. But I do like to have control over my own food and kind of what I put in my body and all that stuff. And I think we all do to some degree, more so than others. As far as building a permanent home here, I don't think I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to focus more on just getting this all functioning as a nice little homestead area. What's up, Sierra Pumpkin? What you doing, sweetie? Oh boy! Oh, Antelope Canyon, that's awesome. Both upper and lower are better. Are there, Bob? Let me just flip this around. Hey, what's up, Donnie? I look forward to seeing you and Nat soon. We'll see you later today. Call me if you guys run any issues. Oh, also too, when you get close to my place, as you're coming up the hill before the exit on I-40, stay in the left-hand lane because the right-hand lane has damage from all the. Let's see, something great. Oh yeah, that's definitely good. The left-hand lane or the right-hand lane has a bunch of potholes that are real big, so you can jack with your tires and suspension and all that stuff. So just a heads up. But as far as building a home out here, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm just going to wait and eventually build it. Like, I'm in no hurry, and I don't mind. Oh, what's up, Knoxville? I got a cousin that goes to school, or a nephew that goes to school out there. I've got. I've got. Are you breaking any county regulations for camping on your property? No. That can help you skirt it. Number one is my house. My place where I live is a camper, and it's on wheels. So you can move it 20 feet and it's considered like a new spot, a new place to camp. And so they say you can camp in one spot for 6 months at a time if you have like water plumbed into your property and then to your camper and all that stuff. But if you don't have water plumbed into or anything, it's considered a dry camper and you can do whatever you want. So, and I come and go enough anyway to where if somebody did try to accuse me like, you're out there 100% full time, I'm like, no, I'm not. This is just a home base, which was what a lot of people do out here. There's a lot of nomads. I'm meeting more and more of them that, no, this is Yavapai County. I'm meeting lots and lots of nomads, more of them that are buying in northern Arizona and just using it as a place to kind of operate out of, because there's a lot of great stuff around here. From northern Arizona, you can get obviously to southern Arizona, which is cool. Then you can get over into California, like Eastern California, pretty easy, like Lake Havasu area and the Eastern Sierras. If you want to go east, you can get over into New Mexico, pretty simple, and up in the Four Corners area, and then jet into Utah. I can easily get over to Oregon. It's like 9 hour drive from here, all that stuff. And so, it's pretty relaxed, and I like the location. And also too, with a little bit of a drier climate, you don't have to deal with mold as much, which is really nice being off grid, because water and mold and all that stuff, it's a lot to stay on top of. And during monsoon season, you just want to make sure your structure's covered. That way you don't have any like leakage into your like camper. Because if you see here, I've got a little bit of leakage. You can see how this is like folding up right here, right there. It's bulging. A little bit of water comes in right there. So, let's see, but how often will they enforce regulations? Well, see this, that's just it. Something, Greg, like the laws are out here are such that you can't go on, like the county cannot come on your property and start snooping around unless you either invite them on your property or someone calls the police and makes a complaint. Like if you're, setting off fireworks for 24 hours straight for a year, then, people can do that. But so when I purchased here, the property owner, the property association management, sorry, I'm doing two things at once and I can't talk. The president of the property association was like, hey, just a heads up, like we just handle everything internally. We don't ever invite the county out here and we don't invite the sheriffs out here. So if there's a dispute among neighbors, we just get together and resolve it internally. As a result, the county doesn't come out here because they don't even maintain our roads. Like I'm so far off the county maintenance schedule that they just never want to come out. And so, let's see, for the fact that it's super easy to get a dirt bike. Yeah, you 64 max power. Another thing that's cool too is I went into town right after I bought my quad, and I went in just to grab supplies from the, grocery store and also the Quick Mart there. And I saw the cop in town, the sheriff in town, and I was like, hey, just a heads up, like I just bought this thing, and I said I have the tags for the trail, and I rode here on trails, but I had to pop over on the pavement to get on, to hit the grocery store and stuff like that. He's like, oh, you're local? I said, yeah. He goes, oh, don't worry about it. You don't have to tag that thing. I was like, okay. He's like, that's just for outsiders. He's like, everybody local here. He goes, I live here. I've grown up here my whole life. He said, I don't bust locals for stuff like that. He's like, the only thing I don't care about are child and women beaters and drunk drivers. I was like, fair enough. I can live with that. And one thing I like about here is definitely a live and let live society. Like, no one comes on your land and tells you what to do. And actually, people will say that. Like, you'll go to HOA and, hey, what's up, James? How are you doing, brother? 2A Overlands here. I've been enjoying your Jeep stuff and then also the square body truck build. So, hope everything's going good for you guys. Tell them that I said hey. But neighbors around here, they're real cool. I mean, like they won't come on your property. They won't tell you what to do. And I remember when I was at the first property association meeting and I met a lot of people. And people were like, just started to mean, they're like, hey, remember, everybody owns their own property and they're free to do whatever they want on it. Like, we're not here to tell people how to live. And I'm like, thank God. I'm like, what a great group of people, like finally there's some reasonable people in this world, as opposed to, seems like anytime you engage in anything in this country these days, people want to tell you what's up and tell you how to do your affairs. And that's the one thing too that I love about being out here is that it seems like all that stuff's like a world away from here, because like I'll go into town, and you'll see the fast driving people and the people honking and the impatient folks, and you're kind of like, huh. And then you come out here and it just seems like that's so far away, and that's what I love. And so being able to grow my own food out here, and I love that. Oh yeah, me too. 64 max power. It's just I don't understand the people that are like, well, I live this way, and so you should too. And it's like we all grew up different and stuff like that. Like, what my beliefs are derived from my life experiences, the same as somebody else, and I can't tell somebody they're wrong for what they think. No more than anybody can tell me I'm wrong for what I think. I'm not hurting people's feelings out here, and I'm not doing anything illegal. So it's just interesting that people. Yeah, I'll get them every once in a while on this channel, like, oh, you need to go back to the corporate world. That's security. What you're doing is not sustainable, and you're gonna fail and all that stuff. I'm like, man, if you have that mindset, you'll never succeed in this then. It's like every day is a learning experience out here. And, it's like I've learned a ton about being off grid. I've learned a ton about solar power, like you have to. So let's see, look into Spooky too for, okay, cool. RGH, I'll check that out. So, oh man, Apache County only has a month per calendar quarter. Wow. That's crazy. Well, I know people that are out in that area though that are full time in Apache County, and they They don't adhere to that. So the thing about it too is, like, I have a friend that works at Yavapai County in the office, in the Ministry of Offices. He goes, dude, he goes, we have so much in the town of Prescott, we can't even get outside of the city, let alone out to where you're at. He goes, you're at least a 2 hour drive from us. He goes, we're not coming out there. Like, he was just straight up. His name is Douglas. He's a cool guy. But being out here though, I've learned so much about just you know living out here and being independent, and I love it. It's definitely a harder lifestyle, than being in a house. I can definitely tell you that. When I go back to the city and everything is, I got water on demand from a tap, and heat is yeah, heat is derived from my stove, which I power from wood from my property, so it just makes you feel kind of, I don't know, it just makes you feel like you're kind of like master your domain, I guess. So Chris, yeah, I hear you, brother. It kind of feels like you just like all that stuff. I haven't paid a utility bill since January or July of 2015. That's pretty nice, especially considering that energy costs keep going up so much. But I also feel like, with what happened during the lockdowns and everything like that, and how they tried to really put a damper on people's lives, I'm hard pressed to think that's not going to happen again. Maybe not in the near future, but it's going to happen again. And these powers that be that are beholden to interest other than that of the people is what is concerning. And so, be it having this property and having the ability to grow food, which I enjoy doing anyway. It's not like I'm doing this because I feel like it's 100% necessary. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but having the ability to grow my own food and all that stuff, it's just it's awesome to like have like a salad, with like some strawberries on it, and you got some cucumbers and some peppers and maybe some carrots and lettuce, and you grew all of that yourself. Like, that feels good. And for those that haven't tried it, definitely try it. It feels awesome. And the nice thing about food production too is you can scale it back, pretty quick. And so if I was here and got an opportunity to go on the road for an extended period of time and didn't want to be around the property, then I could scale down the food production. You can't do that as easy with animals, So, Summer Stardust, that's awesome. You've been 16 years full-time nomad with your pets. That's awesome. That's so cool. I think that nomading with pets is just the best. So, I think if you're just trading one set of issues instead of 4 hours a day commuting from work, yeah, it's just a lifestyle. I think 64 max power. It's like I thought about it. It's like I could work and pay for the utilities to like power my place and for heat and stuff like that, or I could live out here and I could chainsaw the wood and then harvest the energy from the sun. They're both work. One of them is work to trade dollars for it. Another one is like you're trading more time. So it depends on what's better suited for you. In my life, with not having a wife and not having kids, I got all the time in the world. So it doesn't bother me if it takes, a couple hours to go saw wood every day, or I actually like doing it. I love being out there and saw it. When I saw the old growth juniper, man, it smells so awesome, that cedar wood. And the wildlife that I see when I'm out doing it. It's kind of overall, it's like a really cool experience to like hop on the quad and then run down there with my chainsaw and scope out which trees I'm going to knock down and then process up the wood. And then like the thing I love about it is that, hey, Gloria, what's going on? The thing I love about it is that it's a quantifiable exercise to where I can look back and your bricks are like, oh, cool, Matt, yeah, thanks for tuning in, brother. If I didn't have a kid, I'd live that life. Yeah, just well, and my brothers, my brothers have families, and they talk about how much time is dedicated to that and raising their kids and everything. And so that's where I had the luxury of not having those limits on my time. I can just do whatever. Looking at Badlands Ranch dog food, superfood for dogs. Oh, cool, Air Creed here. I'll look into that. And so I like doing it. I like the time that it takes. That was one thing about working on the internet, when I was in the corporate world, which bothered me. I was like, I can't see a quantifiable result at the end. I can't like see where I started and see where I ended at the end of the day. It's all like in this digital, like weird universe. And so out here, like, I've been, let me show you what I've been working on as of late. I've been working to increase the driving areas and roads into my place, and also to have more of like an open area that comes through here. So I've knocked out this middle island here, and I'm going to keep that pinyon pine. I've knocked back all these trees and pushed it back here, and then I knocked down that tree as well too yesterday just to give it a little bit of view over there. And that's where I'm harvesting all the logs to pull up here, which I'm gonna have to pull up with my winch, because some of the trees that are back in there are huge. Knocked down. And then over here, just finishing up this of like filling in the little trail that I made, because this actually slopes down like that. And so I put in a bunch of rocks over here and then a base underneath this, and then filled it all in with dirt and everything like that from the lower part of my property. Because on the lower part of my property is where the meadow's at, and that's where I have a lot of the wood that I get for the wintertime, running the stove and also running the hot tub and all those things. And then I think over here for the hot tub, I think that what I'm going to do is the little platform that I put this on, which is just those little crates. I think that what I'm going to do is, I feel like Rivera might be there. Cool, man. Yeah, Matt, give me a heads up, or give me a shout if you cruise through the area. We'll definitely get together. But I want to make it a legit deck here. And then I think I'm going to change this out to where I'm going to use a barrel, and I'm going to put the coils on their side so that they go like this. And then I'm going to put it inside a barrel and then have the barrel open like here on like this portion here. And then I just stuff wood in. And that way I could get a lot more wood put in there, and I wouldn't have to tend the fire so much. And I could run it during the fire ban season, and I wouldn't have to worry about, breaking that restriction. Because like, you don't want to burn during high winds and, during the dusty season with an open fire. Because if you caught this land on fire, the place would just burn. And that's in the middle of nowhere. It'd take forever for people to get out here to combat it. And so that's where it's like, I want to be real responsible with that. And if it's an enclosed firebox, then that's, you can go up to stage 2 fire ban with that, which is really nice. And we only get like stage 1 fire bans out here. So it's not, we never get to the stage 2 really. And it looks like monsoon season is going to be another good one this year, they're saying, which is great, because like the whole area around here, everything just turns to like super green. All the desert grass, which is kind of brown right now, it's starting to green up a little bit. I'll show you. See, let me show you here. See how things are starting to kind of green up a little bit, but it's still dry. It's still not totally snapped out because it's been cold at night. But you see, we've got like tufts of green coming up and things like that. But this grass here at the top of it will get like, hey, what's up, Blake? How you doing, brother? It'll get like this really cool yellow flower at the top of it, and then this whole stalk will be green, and it'll be like that for like everything on the ground for as far as the eye can see. And so it's really cool during monsoon season because this place is just beautiful. So if the monsoons are like they were last year and the year prior, then we're going to have another good season, which would be great. So for those that are just now tuning in, let's see, I'm finding my land search isn't easy, but yeah, Chris, if you actually look a little bit further west of Flagstaff, like Ash Fork, Seligman, Paulden, north of Prescott, that's a neat area back in there. And you can find parcels that are much less than 10 or 15 an acre. You'll find parcels that are down to like 2,000 or 3,000 an acre. They're just kind of out in the sticks, which is what I like. You get out there and there's not a lot of people. Nice thing about that area too is that unless you're near Prescott, there's not really a lot of jobs available. And so people that are out in the sticks either brought their own money with them, or they work online, or they're just there kind of part-time and coming and going. So there's a lot less people out there. The off-grid properties that are closer to town tend to be pretty swanky as far as like, they got all the stuff on their property. They show up and they've got all their tractors and everything. So there's a lot of people that have a lot of cash. But if you get out further, it's more of like the salt of the earth people, and that's where you'll find the more affordable properties. Just see if you can have a community well within whatever area you're looking at and whatever area you buy, because the wells out here can cost up to 50 grand to drill because they're real deep. The nice thing about it is where I'm at, and the aquifer that I'm above is technically considered the purest water in America. And so you can get online and you can look at the different areas of northern Arizona and water quality and all that stuff, and a lot of it's posted. And the reason why it's so pure out here is because it's so deep. It's anywhere from 700 feet to 1,000 feet deep, the aquifers. And contrast that with hitting the water in Colorado, where I was, at this past winter, and you hit a well at 80 feet. So let's see, many properties. At least that's the. Yeah, free to run free. That is what's nice about here, is that it is more affordable out here, and I think the reason being is, well, it's a couple reasons. Like, one was just what I was talking about, the economics of the areas. Not everybody can make money either remotely or work remotely, or not everybody has cash already set aside to just go live 100% off grid. Nor do a lot of people. Not everybody wants to. Not everybody wants to be out in the middle of nowhere, you know. And so I think up here in northern Arizona, the reason why the prices are affordable they're rising, but they're still affordable. And so I think the reason being is that the remote nature. Number two, a lot of people around the country think that Arizona is just all desert and hot, so they don't realize that these areas exist. Number three, um, what was that? The first one I said about the remote nature. So the remote nature actually ties into number three with the employment. You know, so let's see, we're on 30 feet down. Oh wow, Steve, that's awesome. Steve Borgers, this you had an aquifer 30 feet down. That's amazing. So yeah, out here the water is much deeper, but as a result of it, it's really pure and it tastes great and it's really good. So hey, what's up, Cool Trucking? How you doing, man? A dehumidifier will just one. Yeah, summer stardust. It definitely will. And I noticed that with the air conditioner I have, so I've got a window unit, but I also have that Zero Breeze, you know, little portable handheld one that you can carry around. And that Zero Breeze kicks out a lot of condensation in the summertime, especially during monsoon season. Before monsoon season hits, not really much in the way of condensation with that thing. But as soon as monsoon season gets here, and I turn that on, it is like a faucet coming out of that thing with the condensation. So, but you do work remote. Oh, that's cool. Free to run from. Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. Not a lot of money, but I do work remote, so it's all good. So yeah, out here, you know, I'm going to use a lot of the natural materials that I have on the land to build all the stuff that I want to build out. And so the first order of business is clearing out the area just behind my camper, and then making those raised beds. And then I'm going to start figuring out what I'm going to plant in there. And I'll probably do the raised beds, put the soil in, and then do a soil testing, because I like to do blueberries as well. And you got to get a little bit more of a higher pH balance of the soil with blueberries. But it'll be fun to get back into gardening. Like I said, I used to love doing that when I was in Colorado. So. Ah, cool. We got somebody from Cologne, Germany tuning in. Best wishes for you, Sierra. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're doing good. Let's go back out and see Sierra and see what she's up to. I think she's just laying out here and just taking it easy. She's been chilling all morning. So, hi from Estonia. Very cool. All right. See, hey, but I was wondering if you accept visitors. Yeah, William, I definitely do. Definitely accept visitors. I actually had some people show up yesterday that have been on Patreon for a long time. So, it was cool to meet them. And then we're doing a Patreon meeting. This is a stinker. What are you doing out here, pumpkin? Sleeping? You're laying in the sun. You got your eyes running there. I'm gonna clean up your face. I just love you, sweetie. So she had a little bit of a. I think she had some pain last night because she was breathing real heavy right before we went to bed. So I gave her one of her pain pills and she settled down. But this morning doesn't seem to be too bad. So I don't know. Yesterday she did walk around a lot with me, which was like 3 or 4 times the amount of what she normally does during the day. So I wonder if that bothered her tumors. And well, we'll have to see. I may make another appointment to go and just get her checked out again from her doctor in Flagstaff the first part of next week. Because after the Patreon meetup, we don't have anything really planned. And so it's just basically hanging around here. And I don't think we'll go to Colorado this summer. I'm more interested in putting down roots here, you know, and really getting going with this place, because I do have a special property out here and I just love the solitude. And so I think that given that, I can stick around here and kind of make some more systems and everything. And yeah, Lee, I still give her the CBD stuff. And then also too, there's an additional anti-inflammatory supplement that I give her on top of the CBD. So I give her 2 different ones. But the issue is the tumor in her rear is starting to stick out of her skin. You can see it. So, you know, she had one anal sac removed. That's where the cancer originally started. Well, it came back in the other one. And so yeah, Steve Borgers, listen, it's really great here. What I like too is like resupplying in Flagstaff or Prescott. I usually go to Prescott. It's a great town, you know, mellow, fun town. Flagstaff's a little busy these days, but you know, there's times of years where it's not. And so I'll go up there in the winter and in spring when there's not a lot of people around, which is cool. So yeah, something, Greg. There's actually a really good CBD cream for muscle pain. It's called is it Canna Cream? I can't remember. I got it in Colorado, and it was like CBD and had a little bit of THC in it. It was like way better than the sports creams that you would get at the grocery store. So let's see here. See, William, let's see. How far am I from Panama City, Florida? Oh, days. Like, I'm way on the other side of the country, so I'm not exactly sure, but definitely quite a ways. So Let's see. Will I visit Baron and Ilsa? Yeah, if I go to Colorado, most definitely. And I was talking with Baron the other day about being out here and all the creeks that I've been camping at. And he's like, man, I got to come out and visit. So they're just real busy with their house build. I think once they get that done, they'll have more freedom to kind of come out because they've been saying they want to come visit. So let's see. Cool truck. And you were talking about, so you know about solar. So you have 6 255-watt Canadian solar panels. Can I hook them up 24-volt string? I don't. So cool truck. So I use the type of solar stations that are all built in one with the charge controller is already built in and all that stuff. So I just plug in my solar, and I've got between those two, I've got 5.6 kilowatt hours of power in here right now, and then I've got my panels outside. But I actually don't know about the wiring with like 24-volt systems or 48-volt systems. My system is a 48-volt, but it's all internal, so I didn't do the wiring myself. So unfortunately, I'm not the right person to ask about that. So. Um, yeah, Southwest Florida Adventures. Any good fishing holes in the area? There actually is, and there's a place to the east of here near Flagstaff where I go camp, and I had no idea. I was just walking around Sierra in the fall during hunting season out there testing out a new tent, that Shackleton from Ellis Canvas Tents, and I was walking out there and I stumbled upon this lake, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me! This is here. I've been here a million times, and I didn't even know this place was around here. I went over there and checked, and they have smallmouth bass and brown trout in there, which is awesome. So it's at an elevation almost to like it's like 7,500 feet, and it doesn't. I mean, you have to get your, obviously your fishing permits and all that stuff, which I need to get one here for Arizona. But that's nice to have that over there, and to have both smallmouth bass and brown trout is great. Because smallmouth bass, I don't know if you ever caught those, but I grew up on a lake in Kansas when I was a kid, and we had smallmouth bass and largemouth bass and catfish in that lake. And man, you get a smallmouth bass on the line, and you think that you'll have like Moby Dick on the line, and you get it out, and it's like a 4-inch fish. You're just like, what? How does this thing fight so hard? It's crazy. And so those are a lot of fun to catch. And then same with brown trout. They're like kind of the ninjas of the trout world. They're pretty aggressive too. So it'll be fun to go over there and fish over there once the snow melts. It's still pretty snowy in those areas, but it'll be clearing out soon. So, um, so but yeah, so that's cool. So I can head over there and fish for trout, which is nice, and then come back here. And then I'm starting to trade. I'm starting to barter with stuff around here. So I've got a friend that's really good at hunting, and he drew a tag in an area that's pretty much guaranteed to hit. And so I'm trading him a lithium-ion battery for elk meat at the end of this year, which is great. So that's my thing around here is like I've told the neighbors that I have like tractors or whatever that I could use. So let's see, Steve Borg, I have a cheap freight processing system. Yeah, I've heard that that Harbor Freight stuff is pretty awesome. It runs well too. So let's see, am I gonna get a mill? I'm thinking about it, but I haven't yet. So Lake Champlain, nice bass fishing. Oh, I'll check that out. Um, but back to what I was saying. Let's see, what was I talking about? I was talking about trading. Oh yeah. So my contribution to the community here, because we're all talking to each other like, hey, what do you need? I'm like, well, I need help with like heavy equipment because I don't have any. So and also I don't go hunting because I don't have I've never done that, and I don't know how to process them and all that yet. I'd like to learn, but I just don't know yet. So they said, well, you get those batteries, that you always do that you're starting to do reviews on. Like, why don't we trade you one of those for, tractor time or whatever. So that's awesome to have that, and especially now that I'm going to be doing more things around here, I want to start to move some more dirt, and I want to move the outhouse to a different area, and so that'll help to have the heavy machinery. So I actually trade, like I can do reviews for batteries online, and I'm going to be keeping some batteries too, like the Champion battery that I have here. That's great for the little ATV shop I have because it has plugs on there that normal batteries don't, for like different type of power tools and things of that nature. But like the power stations that I normally get for like truck camping and stuff like that, I'm just going to trade it and use that as my bartering out here. That way we can kind of get away from the cash system a little bit too, because I'd like to push it a little bit in that regard and see how far I could take it, which would be fun. That'd be kind of like a neat little challenge to kind of figure out workarounds. So yeah, the barter, that's what I want to do, is I want to get on the barter system and have more and more stuff to where I just do that. I also want to start growing my own feed out here. So as we move towards more cashless, yeah, that's another thing too, 64 max powers. That was, as we move towards that, I definitely want to have kind of some systems set up to have a workaround from that, just to get some things done, and too to keep some things off the books too. It's like I don't want to put it on the books that I'm just moving dirt around here. I think the government doesn't need to know about that. So let's see here. All right. Ready for some more milk, girl? Let's get you some here. see here. What you got, sweetie? Oh boy, I got you some grass. See, she wasn't shaking there. Well, it shakes because back here is where the big tumor is that's sticking out of her rear, and so I know that gives her a lot of discomfort. But she's just a little trooper, and she's just keeps on plugging away. I just love you so much, Stinker. You're just a good girl. All right, there you go. Enjoy your milk. Those treats are for you, sweetie. So, yeah, start with small game, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get a 22 breakdown little rifle that I can pack with me, and then I want to start doing a lot more ATV camping because you know, we'll be here until Sierra's time comes, and then I'll be taking out my quad, which is right here, which I want to get a winch for the front, and then get some storage for the back. One of the things that goes around here like this that you can put a bunch of gear in, and then you're good to go. And one thing I love about this is the 2022, and Polaris ended up putting the battery tender on the deal here on your steering column instead of having it to where you had to basically go underneath to where your battery was. And they also changed the battery to be right up here instead of way down under there to where you'd have to go, underneath here to grab it. It used to be sitting right there. So they redesigned it, which is real nice. And yeah, 64 max power. Yeah, I'm always telling her I love her, especially lately. I mean, I realize our time is coming to an end, you know, one of these days soon. And so I'm telling her as much as I can that she's a good girl and I love her very much, you know, all that stuff. And I also tell her, and I mean, it's kind of more for me, but I just tell her, like, you know, if you ever need, you know, whenever you need to go, it's your call and I'm here for you. And so the goal is just to send her off with as much love as I can, you know, and be thankful that I had her in my life, because it'd be easy to be pissed about it, but it's not worth it, you know. So, all right, let's go back outside. Go see what's up to her real quick, and then we'll end the live stream here, okay? All right. I got a Jackery review battery review video, which I'm doing, and I should have that out soon. It's actually a pretty fun one because it's a little bit of a lifestyle, you know, video included with the Jackery. I do love that thing for truck camping because they're so lightweight. It's so easy to transport it. So, all right, Pumpkin, what do you say we get our day started here, and we're gonna start working with some stuff. I'm gonna process up some trees, and why don't you just chill here and relax while I do that. So. All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in. So for those that didn't catch it, what I'm doing is I'm going to start homesteading here. And Chris, I do have a address in town that I'm using now. So if you want to message me, you know, if you want to chat about that, I could give you the information. If you want to go to my website, there's a contact page, and that goes directly to my email. So also too, so the Patreon meetup starts today, and we've got 6 people coming, which is pretty cool. It'll be my first one, so I'm glad it's kind of small. And then we're going to do one in the fall as well after the monsoon season. Oh, okay, Eric Reed here. I appreciate that. Snowbird, thank you. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. CC Cat. We're going to do a meetup here in the fall too, right after monsoon season ends, when it's all green and beautiful. So I'll keep you all informed with that for those on Patreon. So, all right, everybody, have a great day. Enjoy your Thursday, and we will see you on the next live stream. We'll keep doing a bunch more live streams. So I want to give you all as much Sierra content as we can this summer. So I'm having fun doing them in the morning. I kind of like getting up in the morning and doing this. So, and I'll also have some real videos for you coming soon. All right, thanks everybody. You have a great day. All right, thanks, James. Yeah, let me know when you want to get together to Overland. We'll go camp some stuff, and I got a new 4x4 trail I want to try out. So maybe we could go do that. It's kind of near Prescott. So, all right, everybody, have a great day.